You may have heard the saying, April showers bring May flowers. Sounds nice, most associate it with the weather. April sees a lot of rain, and as such, May is usually a nicer, sunnier month, filled with natural beauty. Unfortunately, that saying has been tainted for quite a while now. You see, that expression, to those in the know, relates to someone quite horrifying. She really took it away from everyone, willing or not. Now all we do is fear this month, old April, and long for the first wonderful liberating day of May, even despite of all the heartbreak it brings. I was still in school when it all started, which is weird to think about, how someone so terrifying can have such a grip on your life for so long without ever even having met them. The rainfall was really bad that year. Honestly, we never thought it would stop, which only made things worse, as it meant everyone felt like they were in danger. You see, this particular killer, for one reason or another, is only active during the month of April, and only when it's raining. This inevitably led to her gaining the nickname April Showers. It seemed silly at first, but as the month went on, the rain kept falling, and the bodies continued to pile up. Day after day, one after another. She wouldn't stop, and no one could seem to stop her. Then the drip drops of rain scattering across the country began to seem more like an omen, warning us of who was outside, lurking amongst us. Somewhere, someone was lying face down in the street, throat slit, blood washing away down the gutter and draining into the city. It seemed like it would never end, that we were going to be forever fearing the onset of rain. But then came the first day of May, and the first day without one of her murders in a month. It was kind of a relief, but people still didn't feel safe. The rain was on and off, with sunny weather gracing us more and more. People finally began to feel like it was over, and while not necessarily safe, at least more open to walking in the rain again. The amount of memorial and funeral bouquets left as a result cemented the saying, April showers bring May flowers. The rest of the year went on with people still reeling from the horrors that had gripped the start of the year. But life goes on, and the further we got away from it, the more people started to feel as though perhaps it was a one-off, a freak period in our history we prayed we would never repeat. As I'm sure you've guessed, those prayers weren't answered. The next April brought more rain, more horror, more death. From the first day it rained in April, they started up again. Throats slit from ear to ear, blood washed away, and bodies left where they fell. Once again we were at the mercy of the weather. I remember one of the murders was close to where we lived, and as a result, at the slightest hint of rain or grey clouds, me and my friends were told to stay indoors. It was restrictive, but we all understood why. There were even chaperones assigned to escort all of the children to and from school. We lived in a reasonably busy market town, so it was a close community, but had plenty of strangers moving through each and every day, which leaves you a little nervous when there's a homicidal maniac on the loose. The details were unsettling enough. We were all rubbing our necks when we heard them. But then, in one instance, April slipped up. She had tried to kill a young couple who were walking home at night. And this is where we got some truly disturbing insight into this killer. A young couple were making their way home at night and found themselves caught in a downpour. I guess they felt as though there was little chance April was in the area, or that, even if she was, the two of them together would be enough to hold her off. Stupid reasoning, but then people have died for less. It was quiet out. Most people had the good sense to stay indoors when the rains came. It said that they saw someone walking alone, a medium-sized figure in a long, dark hooded trench coat. Cautiously, they gave the individual a wide berth and kept an eye on them as they moved past each other. The stranger kept moving, and that seemed like the end of it. They kept walking on for a while, not realizing the stranger had turned around and was trailing them, waiting for the right moment. That moment soon came when the couple decided to take a shortcut down an alleyway. It was quiet. The two weren't speaking apparently, just keeping an ear out, yet the heavy rain muffled much of the sound, other than their footsteps, which kept together in rhythm. Their senses alerted when they heard a third set of steps out of beat and right behind them. The couple spun around, and the young woman remembers seeing a quick flash of movement, and a splatter of warmth hit her face. In a moment, the young man fell to the floor, coughing, spluttering, and grasping his throat. His girlfriend, shocked and horrified, had little time to react as a silhouette swung out at her. Raising her arms defensively, there came a sharp, painful sting across her right hand. Reeling back, her palm had been sliced open. A voice broke through all of the other sounds. It was cold and haunting, singing that old nursery rhyme. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. The shadowy figure moved closer, revealing the same hooded stranger from earlier. But it didn't matter. It was clear who this was. As April stepped forward, she was stopped. The boyfriend was holding onto her leg, and through gargled breath called for his girlfriend to run. The girlfriend hesitated just long enough to see April swiftly kneel down and stab her boyfriend in the throat, finishing him. She ran. Whilst fleeing, she recalled it seemed like everything went quiet. All she could focus on was trying to get away. Escaping out of the alley, she ran through the streets calling for help. She said she didn't turn around, terrified she'd see April closing in on her. Fortunately, there were some other people close by who heard her calls and came running. It was all over in moments. The young woman and the people who came to her rescue were still in view of the alley, but April wasn't seen by any of them after that. They did, however, say that emanating through the clatter of heavy rain from out of the dark, they could hear her whistling that tune. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. The police were called, but of course, she got away again. As to my knowledge, that young woman is the only one to have ever escaped April. Don't really know what happened to her. I don't suppose you're ever really okay after something like that. Who could blame her? Shame for all those who came after. There was hope that when one got away, that April might want to lay low. They had a description of her now, somewhat, and maybe that might have caused her to pause. But no. Seems as though she really didn't care, and the next time it rained, more death was to follow. May can't come soon enough. There's been some CCTV footage over the years, and of course the internet is rife with alleged photos and video footage of her, wandering about the streets of towns and cities alike, and always in the rain. Hard to say what's real and what isn't, but every time I see one, I can't help but wonder if that's really her I'm looking at. Imagine her, just strolling about that flagrantly, without a care in the world, on the hunt for her next victim. Thank God it's been a dry month so far. That spared us all some pain, though the fear is still very much a presence in most people's everyday lives. Be safe out there. Next time you're out on the go and feel as though the skies are about to open, get home or somewhere indoors as quickly as possible. The last thing any of us want is to be caught out by April showers.